This is the user interface when you first sign in. We don't have any jobs currently set up, but we'll start with configuration. In the configuration section, you'll begin by inputting your mail notification user and SMTP server information. If required, you'll also add a mail user and password, and since I'm using Gmail, it's required. Next, enter the SMTP port, and you can get most of this information from your network team, and they'll be able to set up the right configuration here. For sending a new user invite or a password reset email, you'll also need to configure the system host name. You can use localhost, or if you have a name server, use that. An IP address can also be used. The token expiration property controls how long that password reset or user invite email will remain active. If needed, you can adjust this time. The value is in seconds, so be sure to set it accordingly. Moving on to ETL job and ETL step default settings, this is where you'll configure the job notification email. You can choose to include logs or just retrieve the last set of logs from the server. The log debug level can be set to debug or error, and if you select none, the logs will not be included. For ETL step default settings, these apply to the individual ETL job steps specific to the ETL data source. For password settings, you can configure the minimum and maximum length as well as the number of required characters. These settings differ from the user registration password parameters, which require a capital letter, lowercase letter, a number, and a minimum length of 6 characters. Once you've set up the password, you can modify it later if needed. You can also configure the password reset interval, whether it's every 90 days, 120 days, or 6 months based on your security requirements. The display server name appears in the top right of the user interface. This helps you keep track of the different environments like production or development. The job runner execution limit controls how many jobs can run at once within the UI. If you have a system with low memory, say 2 to 4 gigs, you might want to set this to 1 to avoid memory errors. For systems with at least 16 gigs of RAM, you can set this to 4. Finally, the Export Configs option is used to configure data sources, job steps, and files in a lower environment, and then migrate them to production. There are 2 buttons, one for exporting and one for importing. The export option will generate a zip file, which you can then import into your production environment. And that's the basic setup. Now you're ready to start working with the system.